Hi, I'm Al. Welcome back to another edition of Summit Racing Quick Flicks. Today, I'm just going to go over a few of the differences between tubular control arms and a stock OEM style control arm. One question we got on Facebook recently was, what is the difference between a tubular control arm and a stock stamped control arm? Well, when you're looking at front suspension components, you're going to have quite a few different options, and tubular versus stock stamped is one of the options. The thing that you're going to notice right off the bat on the summitracing.com site is the price difference. Now you may ask, what am I getting when I upgrade to a tubular control arm? Well, let's first take a look at the tubular control arm. You can see here that it's a obviously tubular design with welded on brackets to put on the ball joint as well as any other suspension components. Now, when a vehicle came from the factory, it usually came with a stamped control arm. And sometimes the geometry just wasn't right when a vehicle was put into tight, fast corners. So some of the aftermarket suspension companies have taken a look and tried to improve upon the suspension geometry so that way the caster angle was perfect for things like autocross or other types of racing. Another benefit to tubular control arms is the fact that the bushings are replaceable, and you can either run a poly bushing or a softer rubber bushing. A lot of times, the ball joint is easily removed and replaced if you need to upgrade the ball joint or just change the mount because of use. And then another great feature is the rigidity of the product. Because these are a tubular design and they have gussets, these are much stronger than the stamped equivalent. Now, what are some of the drawbacks? Well, like I mentioned before, these do tend to be more expensive. Another thing is they can actually be heavier than a stock stamped control arm. So if you're looking for weight savings, you do want to give us a call and see which one is going to be right for you in terms of weight. What about the stock stamped control arm? Well, you can see these are cut from a single piece of metal and then stamped for rigidity. These typically came on your classic muscle cars because they were inexpensive to manufacture. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to look at is sometimes the ball joint. On your stock vehicle, sometimes these were replaceable, sometimes they're not. Like on this one, it's actually riveted directly to the control arm. Now you can replace it if you were to drill out the rivets, replace it with a new ball joint, and actually bolt them in, bolt the new ball joint into place. But that may be quite a bit of work, and then you're going to lose that stock appearance. And that's why a lot of people go with these, is because they want to maintain that stock look on their classic vehicle. These do tend to flex a little under some harsher driving conditions, and again, that's why people do upgrade to the tubular design. So which one's right for you? Well, if you have a Sunday driver, something you just take to some cruise-ins, nothing that you really race or do autocross with, then a stock stamped design is going to be perfect for you. However, if you tend to autocross your car or do other racing, you may want to look into upgrading into a tubular design. Now, if you have any other questions about suspension components or vehicles in general, I'd love to hear them. Please feel free to leave a question in the comments section below. Remember to hit subscribe to stay up to date on our latest Quick Flicks videos, and be sure to watch our other videos. Thanks for watching.